Hi, so we've got a core activation or TVA activation workout for you today. So what these exercises are based on are working that deep abdominal muscle, your transverse abdominus muscle, which can be really stretched and lengthened after pregnancy. So we're not working on these six-pack muscles so much with these exercises. It's those deep abdominal muscles that act like the corset that will pull your tummy back in and strengthen up again and support your back a lot better. So if you've not watched the reconnecting with your TVA video, do that before you do this workout, because that goes through how to actually activate that muscle and how to reconnect with it after pregnancy, because you can sort of lose that brain muscle connection. So do watch that one first. Right, okay, so we've got 6 different exercises. Some of them you recognise, some of them maybe not. But it's all about concentrating on activating that TVA. And this is when people say, or fitness instructors tell you to engage your core, squeeze in, brace, this is what they want you to do, is this activation. All right, so the first exercise then is we're going to start on the floor and we're going to do a plank, so just a normal plank. So we're going to do it on our hands though, rather than our forearms. But we're only going to hold this plank for like 10 seconds, so not long at all. So what I want you to really think about, like I've said in the other video, is to, as you exhale, squeeze your tummy button in towards your spine, squeeze the pelvic floor, and imagine you're trying to lift the pelvic floor as well. Get that activation switched on as we do the plank. Okay, so before we do that, I want to show you the difference. So I'm just going to put my top up here a minute so you can see my tummy. So if I don't activate my tummy muscle here, you'll see, so this is what my tummy will look like if I'm not activating the muscle. Can you see it's slightly bulging out there? When it's activated, it pulls in. And that's what the difference is we want to see, because then when you're training the tummy to come in rather than push out. Okay, so ready to activate that core muscle then. On the tips of the toes, check your alignment, hands under the shoulders, and we're going to lift and we're going to squeeze that tummy in, activate the core, and we're going to just hold this for 10 seconds or around 10 seconds. You can do it for a little bit longer if you like, you can do it for 15, but we want those short spurts so we can hold that core, squeeze the pelvic floor, and just keep it activated the whole time. Now there is some evidence that shows that these quick spurts of the planks are better than doing the longer ones for the TVA activation. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's lift. So squeezing in, making sure that tummy is cinched in. So if you can see your tummy, if you've not got a long top on, just have a look down and just check that it is pulling in. Excellent. Let's drop the knees again. Okay, so planks are fab. They do work a lot of the muscles in the body because it takes all that strength to balance. Okay, let's do it again then. Ready to lift, off we go. So squeezing the tummy in, holding it nice and tight. Check down, if you can see, is it sucking in? Almost there. And drop it down. Okay, right, let's turn onto the back then. So you can do these exercises as often as you like because they are that little bit less intense. Maybe not the planks so much, but the others are less intense than some of the other tummy exercises that you might do that work more on the external muscles. Okay, so we're going to start off now with some dead bugs. So some of you might have done this. So we're going to make sure the back is on the floor. So this lower bit of your back wants to be firmly on the floor. You might have a little gap on the arch bit there, but not too much. Okay, so the arms stay up. And again, think about putting the tummy muscle in towards the spine, squeezing the pelvic floor, lifting up the pelvic floor. We're going to extend opposite arm and leg, keeping that back touching the floor. Don't let that back come up and sort of hinge down, and then bringing it back. We're keeping that back pushed into the floor. Okay, now I'll show you again with this one the difference in your tummy. So if I don't activate my core muscle, it's going to start bulging out, and you might see like a little bulge come up here. When it's activated, that doesn't come up, it pulls it in, and that's what you're looking for, because that's how you're going to get it toned and corseted in, pulling in your tummy. Excellent. So if this does pull on your back at all, another great one is to just put the foot down and extend it here. Again, really concentrating on keeping that back on the floor and engaging that core muscle. So if you can do that more here than with your legs up, then you can do that. Okay, right, ab holding, and let's do it from here. So this is really like let's do it on all fours actually. So this is really like in the TVA activation or the reconnecting with your core video that I showed you. We're gonna go on all fours, and this actually feels really easy, but it's really important, and you can do it anywhere, so it's fab. So as we breathe out, we're gonna suck the tummy in, squeeze the pelvic floor, lift it up, and we're going to hold it here, but I want you to continue to breathe. I'm going to hold it for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to release it again. Okay, so let's do that again. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, pull the tummy in, squeeze the pelvic floor, lift the pelvic floor, and hold it there. Let's take some nice deep breaths while we're holding it. Brilliant. And release it again. Okay, so this is really fab to work on this muscle, because however much you work your six-pack muscles, your rectus abdominis, you're just not going to get that tone to me and the support that you need if you don't tone your transverse as well. So let's suck it in again. Squeezing the pelvic floor. Squeeze and lift, and we're going to hold here. And let go. We're going to do that one more time, but as you can see, like, this is really quite an easy exercise, so you can do this anywhere, walking around, in the car or anything. It's like whenever you think about it, really. Okay, let's take the breath out, squeeze the tummy in, pelvic floor, squeeze, lift and hold. So it's just that little action in that lower tummy that you'll feel. A couple of seconds. And release it. Brilliant, well done. Okay, just give your arms a little rest there. I'm just going to show you another exercise that we can do on all fours. So just give your arms a little break. So we're going to come back here. Now this is a bit of a mix between that ab hollowing and the plank, really. So we're going to be on the toes here, and the hands are under our shoulders. So activating that core muscle again. So squeezing the tummy button in, squeezing the pelvic floor. We're going to lift it here. We're just going to hold for a few seconds. And again, this is just activating that core muscle. And drop it down. And let it relax a little bit again, because we need to let it relax so that we can tone it up again and pull it in again, because we do need to let it go sort of its full range. Okay, let's lift. Pull the tummy in, squeezing the pelvic floor. I'm going to hold it here. A few more seconds. And then pop it back down again. You might find that as you hold it, it starts to sort of, you feel it starting to loosen off again, even when you're trying to hold it. And that might just be from pregnancy, because it's weaker. It's harder to stay activated. It's like when you start doing your pelvic floor exercises for the first time. Okay, let's lift here. Squeeze everything in and lift. It's like when you start doing your pelvic floor exercises after you've had your baby, and you sort of hold it for a second, then it just seems to let go again, even if you're still trying to squeeze it. Okay, and drop that down. Okay, so last one then, we're going to go on our backs again. And this one is similar to that modification on the dead bugs I showed you, and it's similar to another one that I do in the tummy muscle separation exercises. It's called a leg extension, and what we're going to do is engage in the core muscle, so breathing out, sucking the tummy button in, squeezing the pelvic floor, lifting the pelvic floor. We're going to extend one leg, making sure your hips stay square and facing the ceiling, so we don't want it tilted. And we're just going to extend one leg, and we're going to hold it just above the floor, so a few inches above the floor. And I want you to just keep that TVA activated, so really concentrating on that. So without letting your hips sort of fall either side, let's bring that back in and try it on the other side. So let's let go of the tummy, loosen it off. Ready to reactivate, so breathing out, sucking in, pelvic floor lifted, and let's extend that leg, keeping those hips still. And we're going to hold it here. Really concentrating on that tummy. Don't forget to hold it tight. Don't let it deactivate. Okay, let's pull it back in. Let's do 2 more of those then. But as I said, the more you can do of these, I mean, I know you're short on time anyway, but the more that you can do of these every day, the better. Because the more you get that internal muscles stronger and more toned, the quicker you're going to get those results on your tummy that you want. And also just to get that support in your back again, because that's a big problem after you've had a baby, isn't it? That back pain. So squeezing the tummy in, squeezing the pelvic floor, engaging that core. Now remember, if you press here, you'll be able to feel it hard if it's activated. Okay, bring that back in. Okay, so rolling onto your side and back up just to keep your back safe. So there we go, there's a little TVA workout for you. So as I said, watch the other tummy muscle separation videos as well, because that's a similar thing, and that's working on those deep ab muscles as well. So with those 2 videos, mixing them all up or just doing some of them, but do them as often as you can, because it really, really will make such a difference. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope you find it useful.